Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypotheticast.
3 best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
I was born with both guns blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one commandment and it goes, I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, friends. I'm Mike.
I'm David.
I'm Emily. Welcome to the Hypotheticast.
Come in.
Yeah. Enter the hypothetic castle.
It's nice when I invite someone into my house and they go, yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's a good vibe because it's like, welcome to the party. Yeah.
We've moved into the hypothetic castle.
Yep, true.
It's not quite Halloween yet, but we know it's coming.
Feel it. You can feel
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like right after, July
August.
5th, I'm ready for the Halloween to come.
That's when it happens.
There's no other holidays.
Yeah.
Literally, like stores are announcing their Halloween treats. Do you know about the big one this year? The big news in Monster cereals this year.
Oh my God.
No, please.
There's
please tell me.
a Monster Mash one where they're all together.
What? That
all
feels like
combined.
the
Sounds
flavor,
bad. Yep.
the flavor profile.
Well, I
would
think
be-
that's a legitimate
I think Count Chocula's kind of the odd vampire out, and so like
you have him in a separate bowl.
I think, yeah, but the best thing is honestly the only reason I really buy those cereals anymore is like the cover art is like them all jamming in a band together.
So nice.
Which is just what I love to see.
What do you think
sounds lovely.
Count Chocula plays in the band?
Count Chocolate? Well, I mean, we could look. I'm not going to look it up.
No, don't.
I think he's the lead singer.
I think
he's
he
the
plays
only.
keyboard.
He's one of the
I think
only
he
ones
plays
with
keyboard.
like working lungs.
Oh, you take that back, Wolfman, baby.
Wolfman just howls.
Wolfman is obviously the drummer.
Yeah, Wolfman's the drummer.
because Animal from Muppets is like Wolfman.
Yeah.
You're right. The stereotype is true.
So we're moving into the hypothetic castle. We're not getting super spooky because we understand that it's still a ways till Halloween.
We're like writing letters to our favorite ghosts.
Yeah.
We're
Getting
just
ready.
prepped. We're getting prepped. I
Time.
may have looked at the box of Halloween decorations a couple times and like peeked in there just to make sure they were doing okay, but
Dusting off the skeletons. But we are going to get a little macabre tonight or this morning or whenever you're listening to this.
macabre.
Yes. And we're going to do some dark stories, but we've kind of got to the bottom of the well on the dark stories.
I think
and
when you try to get to the bottom of it, like you lower the bucket in the dark stories well, it hits the top of the well. Like when they invented dark stories, they had gotten to the bottom of
a
the
man
barrel.
lowers a
Yeah.
bucket into a well.
I also feel like it's maybe getting a little old to listen to us work on them, and then once we hear the answer, be like,
Just get
"That's
pissed."
stupid."
We hate you, dark story.
we want you guys to see a better side of us, a lighter, more whimsical side.
Yeah. So I came
we're
up
so
with something.
serious all the time.
I'm going to call this DIY dark stories, and we're going to
Dark
run.
is your story.
David,
DIY.
I didn't make an acronym out of this one. That's for your segments.
That's your fault. That's your mistake, Mike.
Not everything has to be an acronym. The premise, we'll come up with the premise together, and then we'll come up with our best explanation for what happened. You know, we'll kind of, you guys can each come up with your own. We'll brainstorm.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can come up with.
And then we will release our own app.
Yeah, we'll release our
Yes,
own. We could.
competition.
Because I mean, usually our stuff we come up with is way more creative than what
So
it actually ends up
good.
being.
We are really brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I
Luminaries.
really want everyone to recognize. So the first part's going to run kind of like a Mad Lib, and I'm going to ask you
Everyone
for a
loves
certain
those.
kind of thing that I will then insert into the premise, and then I'll read the premise, and then we'll go from there.
Love it.
All right. Emily, could you give me a kind of place you might find on the main street of a town?
Bookstore.
All right. And David,
Nice.
could you give me an example of something you might ask for at that place?
Where the Xfinity store is.
Okay. And I'm going to try to type that. I'll type that later. Emily,
That's a
could you
joke
give me
for
the
three people?
Emily, could you give me the name of a weapon?
Machete.
Thank you. I should have said type of weapon. You have to name the weapon.
Name of a weapon.
What did
Roger.
you name your machete?
This is Matilda. She's
Okay, and you're
killed
asking
many.
for where the Xfinity store is. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
All right. So here is the dark story we've created. A man walks into a bookstore and asks where the Infinity Store is. The person
The Infinity Store.
The Xfinity, sorry.
It's like a mirror where there has lights on the side and it goes forever, but it's a store. That sounds cool.
Well,
actually.
given the kind of questions people ask, they might ask.
bookstores,
that.
you never know.
So a man walks into the bookstore, asks for where the Xfinity store is. The person inside the store suddenly pulls out a machete and points it at the man. The man says thank you and leaves.
Okay, so first of all, I love this because I definitely know the dark story that this is, so it makes me even happier to try to reinvent it.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
But also, we all know the context of the fact that there is a Comcast storefront near the bookstore that Mike and I used to work at and David works at. And every day,
Yep.
people come in.
And they don't want any books. They want to know where the Xfinity store is.
And they're mad at
Right.
you
Yep.
about it.
So why do you think
Man goes into a bookstore.
Why do you think the man was happy that
And he was like,
the-
hey, thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah, the guy, the person in the bookstore pointed a machete at him.
That's a
Okay,
great question.
so first of all,
Yeah.
these two definitely knew each other a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Okay.
old.
So there's a history, but the guy who's asking the question didn't remember it until.
Wait, I think it was that he didn't recognize the person at the
Sure,
bookstore
yeah,
because
yeah.
they had a beard or vice versa.
Right,
like
right,
they had
right,
changed their
right. Beard or
appearance so
no.
much
Yes.
that they were like, "Hey, bookstore clerk, like, where's the Xfinity store?" And then the machete comes out, and that signifies something very important about their past.
So maybe they were in a plane that crash landed on an island, a jungle island.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy
And-
asking is a history professor.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And
That was
the
clear.
person
That
working
was
at the bookstore is a airplane pilot.
And a bookstore employee.
I mean, hey, you
Look,
know,
after the plane went down, they did not want to
Yeah.
keep flying.
Sure,
and
sure,
honestly,
sure,
They wanted
sure.
to do
pilots
something
make pretty
else.
good money, but bookstore wages, very good. Let me tell you. Oh, I'm rolling in it. Pilot to bookstore clerk pipeline
Yeah,
is
totally.
And
Pretty
maybe
intense.
the machete is made from like a part of the wing of the plane.
yeah.
That they
So,
made to survive.
You can see the plane's number on the side.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
So they had that survival experience together, right? Like that's what we're saying. And that machete is a sign, like, hey, I
Yes.
remember you, and you did something bad to me.
I think
maybe?
I think it's a sign of like, you know me, I know you. We came from the same place, and also
but we're
while
not
they
going to
were
talk about it.
stranded, while they were stranded, they all made a vow
Yep.
never to pay Comcast another dime.
Oh. So is that person on their way to like destroy the Xfinity
because they had there was like a Comcast modem on the plane.
Yes,
what
that
they
was
wanted
supposed to be their
Their
emergency
fault.
modem.
And then they all, like, while they were waiting to be saved, they talked about how shitty the customer service was and just like the rage. So they made
all bonded
a
over-
blood oath.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
blood oath.
It's bad. It's bad customer service.
So the bookstore employee remembers this and
Yeah.
has been true to the oath.
And carries a
And
machete.
then in walks Professor
who is
Beard.
now out of touch.
Yeah. He's
With that
Yeah.
oath.
Oh, it's the other guy who has the
oath.
beard. Okay,
yeah,
right.
forgotten the oath.
Right. He's forgotten the oath or he just doesn't care about it anymore.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're past those times of principle. Now we must all live normal
Right.
lives.
He's like, it's 2021. But then when the guy pulls out the machete made from the airplane,
yep,
he sees the whole experience
remembers.
unfold.
yep.
And it's all reflected back to him.
He feels young again and principled again and ready to fight Xfinity again.
And the range of emotions that go through him change him. And he
They
says,
change him.
thank you. And he leaves.
And he is happy because he's been reminded of who he truly is.
Yeah, he needs a
Right.
different internet service provider.
Yeah, and then he goes
Right.
to CenturyLink. The devil you know.
All right, let's do another one.
Okay.
David, can you give me a recreational activity?
Installing a CenturyLink modem.
Okay, that's not really a recreational activity.
No, I'll give you a different one.
All right.
Soccer.
Okay, that's all I need. A man was playing soccer. After a few seconds, he realized he had made a terrible mistake. A few minutes later, he was dead.
Actually, okay, here's one that maybe has happened. Somewhere in and I don't mean to stereotype, but I feel like in the United Kingdom or maybe Ireland, there are a lot of very intense football club fans that kill each other after soccer matches. And there's a very real chance that a soccer player has soccer players get death threats all the time. Maybe they didn't save the goal and then the fans were like, we're going to kill that guy. And they did. And that was it. He just made a mistake at soccer and the fans all killed the soccer player.
Oh my God.
Maybe it was that.
So you think he was just trying to score a goal?
He was just trying,
or a
and
goalie missed
the
goal.
The goalie let it in.
And in a few seconds, he realized he had a terrible mistake.
He made a mistake.
That's just very sad.
And then someone from the stands was just like, get him. And they all just mauled him and they ate his flesh.
That is not a pretty picture of those fans.
And not really very fun. So I think we could maybe do something a little more fun.
Just quick insert of a positive soccer riot story. As I saw a video the other day of these cops were arresting I think it was a soccer fan who was getting too rowdy, but then the fans swarmed the field and pulled the cops off and stopped them from arresting him. And the cops because there were literally hundreds of people on the field, the cops couldn't do anything.
It's so cool because first of all, it's probably fine. You didn't need to go to jail, whatever. Second of all, everybody watch that video because it's a great de-arrest technique that is technically not it won't get you put on any lists.
If you have a mob behind you.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have numbers, but
get a mob.
Good to watch. Just keep it in mind. It's just nice. It's nice.
I feel like this has more to do with maybe the soccer ball he chose is not as innocent as it looks.
Innocent. The soccer ball has sinned.
He accidentally bought an exploding soccer ball. Why did I buy this one? It will kill me.
Yeah, he went to the prank store.
And that's why we don't do pranks.
Yeah.
Pranks that are deadly for sure.
Exploding soccer balls.
Well, maybe it's not intended to be deadly. Maybe it explodes with Hershey's Kisses.
Oh.
But this guy, deathly allergic to milk chocolate.
Prepackaged milk chocolate.
Yeah.
That bursts out when the soccer ball explodes. So it's a very elaborate. Are they unwrapped Hershey's Kisses?
Yeah, that's what I was picturing for some reason. That seems.
It's also refrigerated so they don't all melt together. The soccer ball is very elaborate.
So he took the ball out of his refrigerator.
Well, it's the soccer ball section at Target, and it is refrigerated to make sure they all stay at the right PSI. And it just so happens that the soccer ball section at Target also is right next to the prank section at Target.
Yeah,
that
confusing.
one that exists, the prank section. God, if only there was a magic aisle at Target that was just filled with.
It's like the back of an old comic book.
Yeah.
You used to have itching powder.
Give me that. Whoopee cushions galore, baby.
Emily's horrified.
The old school pranks especially upset me.
Funny.
They're hand buzzers that electrocute you.
My favorite is the knife that you think is a real knife.
How is that fun? I've seen
funny.
Real vomit and it's
funny.
Gross.
You put it on the ground.
One of my favorites is a thing
vomit.
that makes a noise and then you can hide it in someone's room and then they don't know where it is.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, let's move to another one because I got a bunch of these. Let's see. Emily, could you give me a murder weapon, please?
A saw.
Okay. So a woman is found dead. The murder weapon is a saw. However, her body has no sign of injury from a saw.
Whoa.
How did she die?
Whoa. Wait, so she's found dead. And did it say the murder weapon is a saw?
The murder weapon is a saw.
Wow. Okay,
So her death was caused by this saw, but there's no sign of injury from a saw.
This is a technicality.
Okay.
We can't see the dark story, but Saw is capitalized. She died because she watched the movie Saw and got so scared of Jigsaw. He would put her in his room and he would say,
did someone make her watch it? Because it's a murder.
Yeah, someone made her
Someone made her watch Saw and she died.
Yeah, it was M. Night Shyamalan. He made her watch it.
Oh, no.
Why does he care about Saw?
He loves it. A little known fact about M. Night. Big Saw fan. I think that's a possibility.
It's a possibility. You're right. With the dark stories, anything is a possibility. It could be a person named Saw.
Yeah, it could.
Can you just quick tell me the phrasing though? Did you say there's no sign of injury or there is no injury?
Oh, I'll say just for the purposes of just from what the original intent was, there's no injury of a saw on her body.
Oh, okay.
But it was so. Well, I mean, an easy one that's kind of boring is like she got hit by the bonk part of the saw.
The bonk
but there's no injury.
The handle, but yeah,
that would still be an injury.
So another reason could be that the
no
saw,
injury from a saw.
From a saw.
No injury from a saw. Okay, so it's a really shiny saw,
and it burned her face,
and she looked in it and saw something behind her and she died of fright.
Or she was driving and it reflected light into her eyes at a critical moment. Like someone could have like done that. They were like just on the side of the road. They knew she drives the same route every day.
Oh my
and they're like, I'll hold up this sun because I
gosh.
know the sun will be shining and
The
she won't be able to
perfect
see.
murder.
She'll drive right off this cliff.
Did it say the saw is next to her when she dies? Or no,
it just says the murder weapon is a saw.
Good.
So it's kind of like
I
the
love that.
people involved in this case know how she died.
Yeah.
We are just
But
we have to
don't.
guess how she died.
Right.
Yeah.
So the detective,
good.
he cracked it immediately. He took one look at her ex-husband and he was like, "Can I see your shed, sir? Do you
There's
have
a
a
suspicious
shiny
shadow
ass
here.
saw in there?"
How shiny is your saw? He shined his saws every day. He was out there obsessively with that rag, just going to town. This true crime documentary is good.
All right.
Like the
It's
saw killer,
so
but
good.
it's not the saw
shiny
killer you
saw
think
killer.
that it
Yeah,
is. He's like, I'm not that saw guy.
The chainsaw killer, and it's like they were not
Texas
cut
saw
up with
massacre.
the killer.
Just regular saws. It's not chainsaws this time.
All right, David,
What?
could you give me a type of building?
CenturyLink headquarters.
No more CenturyLink, okay?
Okay.
They are not
I would
sponsoring
say
us.
a type of building
Yeah.
is,
Would
a skyscraper.
Okay.
That's a type.
A man woke up, lit a match, and saw that he was in a skyscraper. This realization frightened him to death. Why?
Freda Heights, next one.
Wait, what's the lit a match part?
He lit a match and saw that he was he woke up, lit a match, and saw that he's in a skyscraper.
Yeah, I
This
think you nailed it,
realization
David.
frightened
Yeah,
him.
Freda Heights, next question.
I think he was a person that was working construction and like took a nap.
and took a nap.
And then they
built him up.
underneath
He took a really long nap and they built a skyscraper underneath him. And then he was like, whoa, too tall. Oh, no, poor guy. Yeah, that's sad.
All right, let's try this one. Emily, what's an emotion you might feel at night?
That's a good question to open any episode of the Hypotheticast.
Or really just any emotion, I guess.
No, night
no,
emotions.
nighttime
Okay.
feelings.
Night
One of the nighttime emotions.
Regret.
Yeah, that's an
Regret. Ooh, I
important
like that.
nighttime
Okay.
emotion.
And David, what's something you might have in a bedroom, or you, or any average person?
Like an object that I might
Yeah,
have, or
anything
an
in a
emotion
bedroom.
I might have.
Not
in
an
a
emotion,
bedroom.
a thing, an object.
An ottoman.
Okay. A man woke up at night feeling regret. Then he turned off the lights and went to bed again. In the morning, he woke up, looked at his ottoman, and yelled. A few minutes later, he was dead. Why?
Oh my god. Okay. This is definitely a ghost scenario. I think his ottoman was in disrepair and he was feeling regret about how long it had taken him to fix the ottoman. And when he woke up, he saw that it was fixed. And the reason that's so scary is because his wife, who he murdered, was really good at reupholstery.
Oh, no.
And he knew, oh shit, this is like her giving me a signal. She's coming for me. And then she kills him.
So she fixed the
reupholstered-
ottoman?
Yeah, she fixed the ottoman as like a fun little signal because ghosts are like playful for some reason and don't just kill you. And then later she reupholstered him into his bed and he couldn't escape and he died.
That's a good theory.
Ghost situation.
I think he was lonely and so he adopted a cat. The cat is very big and beefy and like buff.
Oh, buff,
And
yeah.
and the cat is smart and seemed really nice
It's a pretty cool cat.
really nice at first, and then when they got home, the cat turned into a big old bully, really mean cat.
Bully.
And the cat liked to, basically like a psycho, liked to inflict pain on the man.
Cool.
He always gave him a warning first by destroying a piece of furniture.
It's like an actually psychologically abusive cat.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And so he woke up regretting that he had adopted the cat. And then he woke up and saw that his beautiful ottoman was destroyed, and then the cat murdered him.
So it wasn't just he didn't die of regret. The cat just killed him.
He just killed him.
He just knew
it was time.
He was like, the ottoman's gone. I'm next. All the rest of the furniture was already
The
wrecked.
ottoman was the last thing.
Clearly, I am the last piece of
It was the
furniture
last one.
in this place.
Yeah.
And that was part of the cat's thing, is it would usually refer to him as furniture.
Emily, could you give me a quality an object can have, like color, but don't say color.
Texture?
All right. This is just one sentence. She died because she mixed up the textures.
Oh my God. There are so many possibilities here.
Yeah, mushroom poison, dead. Like, that's one. Any poison, actually, like food in general.
You feel for texture of poison?
For mushrooms, yeah.
Well, mushroom. What is that true?
Sometimes.
Are there really like two mushrooms? One is deadly, one is not. They look identical except they have different textures.
For texture,
It's like that old rhyme.
Yeah.
Mushroom skin feeling rough. You better not eat that
don't
stuff.
Eat this stuff. Mushroom skin feeling smooth. Then go to town, you sexy dude.
Yep.
That's
and also
what the
snakes. It
rhyme
works
is.
with snakes too.
man,
That's why
I
you need
really
to
want a
feel. If you
t-shirt
see a
that says
snake, you
that.
should feel the snake's texture to see if it's poisonous.
Yeah. If you touch the back of snake, you will die very soon, Jake.
That's not even a rhyme. It's
If
just
you
something
leave
you
the snake
say
alone,
to
you
your
might
friend
live
Jake.
to go back home. It's just don't touch snakes. This is the
Okay,
moral of
so
that.
Don't
David,
touch
you
things.
think texture is a good method for poison detection, and she mixed up the textures and died
I mean,
because
it's
she
possible.
poisoned?
Sure, it could also be like spiky blanket.
Well, give me the scenario, David. How is she dying because of a spiky blanket?
It's pretty obvious, but I'll spell it out for you if you want.
Yes, explain.
She's at blanket store and she tests one and she says, that's nice. And then she touches the top of one and she's like, this seems good. And then she mixes up the textures and she doesn't realize that she's in the spiky blanket section. She crawls under there.
Okay.
Stab, she dead. Classic.
Sure, those deadly blankets.
Yeah, they have spiky blankets
You
section.
gotta
You gotta be
work
careful.
worrying about those.
She goes to the grocery store and she is shopping for produce, and she buys a bag of red grapes because she loves red grapes. And then she goes home and she eats them and realizes that they're mushy. And she's like, mushy grapes are the effing worst. And she's so mad that she dies.
I was thinking you were going to say she ate some plastic grapes because they forgot mixed up with her plastic
eating
fruit.
any fake food instead and choking on it, that's a
I
good
think I
one.
would rather
Like,
eat a fake grape than a mushy grape.
Same.
Like, I feel
Like wax,
so
sure.
angry
Put it in there. Yeah.
when I see grapes
How dare
and they
they?
look delicious and they look like they're going to be crisp, and then I take a bite and it's just like a sack of boogers. It makes me so
like
big old
angry.
sack.
That is the one
bugs.
experience that I think humans have, that it, like when someone says like, I was in the desert and I was so hungry and so thirsty and I was crawling and then I saw an oasis and then it wasn't there. It's like the exact same feeling. It is 100% the same.
Excited for grape.
Traumatic, like exact same trauma level of almost dying is also being excited for
Thank
grape
you.
and then having it being mushy.
Thank you.
So fucking bad. So
all
she
right.
dies of anger. I like that one actually. She just dies because she's so
mad.
angry.
David, what's a type of weather?
Hot.
Hot. If the weather hadn't been so hot that night, Angela would still be alive.
Well, okay, that's. I mean, heat stroke is a thing that has happened to lots of people this summer.
Or Angela's air conditioning had been rigged.
With gas, poison gas. So the next time it's too hot, she turns it on and.
A gun shoots.
Yeah, but it's poison gas.
It's just like a Rube Goldberg machine that
And so she's like,
eventually
turns
air
it on and it
conditioning
just
blows
She's
the
like-
race car
she's like,
down
what
the
is this
ramp.
marble doing, rolling around?
remember
She's
all
watching
these-
it around her whole
I
apartment.
don't remember this house of cards.
Oh, dang, it's going towards that gun. What's going to happen?
Is that a can of paint?
And she has to follow it with her eyes around the whole thing because Rube Goldberg machines, we know they're so captivating. They're so interesting. And then it ends up on the gun and she's like, I wonder what's going to happen with
Right.
this gun. Oh, it shot me.
So
And
basically, she
dies.
was gonna die, And the first time she turned it on, it just happened to be that night because it was hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I was thinking maybe she was staying at that ice hotel in like Iceland, and then like global warming melted it while she was in it, and she drowned.
Yeah, it's possible. That's right. She drowned. I mean, that would be kind of scary.
That would be really
especially because
scary.
it would be getting real slippery, and it would be hard to escape. Like,
I wonder how hot it would have to become for an entire ice castle to melt overnight.
While you were asleep.
Really hot.
And for it to not also wake you up because water was dripping on you constantly. I feel like I'd wake you up pretty fast. But I do imagine that would be a very compelling disaster movie scenario. People trying to get out, but it's like melty and slippy. And like if it's a big enough castle and you're not sure like where to go, although it is kind of see-through, so you could probably figure it out.
And the Minnesotan survives. They're like, you got to walk like a penguin.
Yeah, exactly. They know. They get it. They've got broom ball shoes that they brought with them.
Emily,
Minnesotans.
what is something you might buy for fun?
Cake.
All right.
Cake.
The woman bought a new cake. The next day, she died while working. How did this happen?
Oh no! There was a knife inside
hard mode. The cake was not poisoned.
Gun inside the cake.
And she bit the trigger.
No, it was a Rube Goldberg machine. When she first sliced through the cake got slightly lighter, and it raised up on a platform, which did a mousetrap, and a house of cards fell over.
The Rube Goldberg killer has invaded the dark stories.
I think that this is what it was.
Okay.
Her name is Jessica, and she went to the bakery and she saw a cake that said "Happy Birthday, Jessica." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's perfect. I'm going to get that one," even though it wasn't her birthday, but she still just liked it.
So nice.
It looked delicious. So she bought it, and the person at the bakery was like, "Oh, is this yours?" Like, because someone had ordered it. And she was like, "Yes, I'm Jessica." So they gave her the cake.
Oh my God.
The real Jessica went in and was like, "Where's my cake?" And they were like, "Oh shoot, we sold it to someone that said that they were Jessica." And she was like, "Show me your security footage." She looked at it, saw it,
tracked her down.
The end.
Oh my God. But like years later.
No, it said the next
Wait, it says the next day. Damn
the
it.
next day
got
at
her.
work.
She knew.
Okay, well that's pretty good. That's pretty good
small
sleuthing, actually. That's
town.
impressive. Yeah, small
Jessica
community.
is a detective. The detective who
Turns
incidentally found the
vigilante
shiny saw
detective.
killer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that detective. Yeah, it's all
Things
connected,
kind of went
baby.
down after
Right.
she cracked that case.
And people did
so.
suspect the Rube Goldberg killer at first, but it turned out it was not them at all.
It was just Jessica.
I do like the dark stories, the DSU that we're establishing.
Yeah.
It's all in this small town that shares characters. I actually really like that.
That would be a fun series.
David,
What?
give me a type of vehicle.
Fast.
Give me a type
A
of
make
vehicle.
and model?
Just
Big car.
Not
Big
a descriptor
car.
of a vehicle.
Big car.
What kind? A
four-door-
car?
A four-door sedan.
Okay, a car.
I don't know.
Four-door
What is the
sedan.
type of
Four-door
vehicle?
sedan. I don't know, man.
Truck? Is that what you want?
No, four-door sedan
Four-door
is it.
sedan, yeah.
Didn't you say big?
Big. That's a type.
Fast
What kind of car
was
you
the
have?
first option.
Fast.
All right.
Fast car. Tracy Chapman knows that's a type of car.
Helen never thought her decision to travel by four-door sedan would save her life.
Oh, but the crash test safety impact rating was stellar.
But also, I feel like that
It's just a
is
good-
I feel like
it's just a good
driving in
car.
a two-door would be more dangerous in an accident.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah, this is just a
Four-door
lesson in
sedan.
buying
we
a...
got 4 places for people
Yeah.
to
Don't
shoot
worry
you through
about-
with a gun.
Yeah.
That's why she died.
Might not look as
Wait,
cool,
no,
kids,
it saved her life.
Oh,
yeah,
it
this one,
saved her life.
Helen lives in this
This is
one.
it. But it's still a dark story, so something bad also must have happened.
It
Well,
must
yeah,
have happened,
some
but-
bad
yeah.
thing happened, and the four-door sedan,
Nice.
her
Saved
being
her
in
life.
that saved her.
So the four-door sedan was actually sentient.
Yeah, that makes sense. This specific four-door sedan is what saved her life, not the idea of one.
This one. And so she was driving late at night and saw some shady characters.
Uh-oh.
But actually, she's just like one of the like Nextdoor boomers who's always like posting about shady characters.
And it was just like some people going on a walk.
right
At night.
right. So she pulled over to post on Nextdoor. I'm kind of losing the thread of this, David. Feel free
keep going.
to
No. I think the Nextdoor angle is key, and we need to lean into that.
So she pulls over. Mm-hmm. She's posting on Nextdoor about the shady characters.
Yep.
She was almost going to drive off a cliff. If she hadn't gone on Nextdoor, she would have gone right off the cliff.
Here's what it is. I think we can lean into how Nextdoor sucks, and we can say that some angry man was on Nextdoor and was like, "I'm going to come get those shady characters, vigilante style."
Yes, you're right. He's like, "I'm sick of this." Mm-hmm. So he bursts out of his house.
He's like, "I'm getting in my SUV and I'm coming for him."
He's got
what car are you in? And she is able to communicate that she has a 4-door sedan and they are in a 2-door sedan, the shady characters. He goes, he shoots them.
I have a happier ending to this story.
You're making this so
I have a happier
dark.
ending.
It's dark
I have a less dark
stories.
version. So this man busts out of his house. He's got all his weapons.
So many weapons.
Drives over to the intersection.
Yeah.
And he sees her.
In a 4-door
and he's
sedan.
like, this must be the shady character.
Oh, shit.
So he runs up. And right before he attacks, the sedan opens its eyes.
Oh, yeah, it's sentient.
And says, listen, I think we all need to stop being so suspicious of our fellow neighbors.
And that was the first National Night Out.
It's Herbie fully woke. All right. I think that does it for our DIY Dark Stories.
It sure does.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to the podcast. To wrap things up, let's do a no questions asked, but I'm going to get the premise. Just give me a really brief explanation of what happened.
Just one.
It's going to be a simple
brief.
one. Emily, could I have a location?
Miami.
Okay. And David, could I have a mundane object?
Watermelon.
Okay. A man lies dead in Miami next to a watermelon. What happened?
Thirsty.
Jello shots.
Fell out of watermelon tree. Goodbye.
See ya.
I'm marching, cause I'm gonna
Theme music by Jaden James and the Hunger. Logo by Christian Hagen. Edited by David Gucci. If you want more of our hypothetical content, join our Facebook group or like our posts on Twitter or Instagram or give us some stars and a review on iTunes or wherever the heck you get your podcasts. Fully Loaded is a gross name for a Herbie movie.
It's, yeah.
Can
really
we talk
strange.
about that?
Next time.